Today, we're going to go on a journey from a world that feels, pretty broken and divided to one that's deeply interconnected. And get this, we actually have a map for this journey, and it comes from the wisdom of a guide named Zoran, who helps us navigate this huge shift in how we see ourselves and each other.
This quote just hits home, right? It really captures that feeling that so many of us have, that the things that make us human, our creativity, our connection, they've just been drowned out by this relentless machine of productivity and profit. This is our starting point, a world that's kind of lost its way.
So, to really get where we're going, we first have to be super honest about where we've been. Let's start by exploring the foundations of that old world, the ones that are now crumbling.
Okay, what's really fascinating and honestly pretty chilling about this is the language. This is how the old system actually saw people, not as human beings with inherent worth, but as items on a balance sheet, things that lose value over time. That's the ultimate expression of a dehumanized world.
And that kind of dehumanization, well, it led directly to what the source calls a culture of me. Makes sense, right? When everyone is just an asset, you stop seeing them as partners. It becomes a world of individuals, all on your own, where your survival feels like it depends on beating everyone else.
And that competition was just relentless. It created this frantic scramble for jobs, for money, for status, all based on this idea that there's not enough to go around. But here's the crazy part. While things like GDP were climbing, the actual quality of the human experience was plummeting. The system was getting richer, but we were getting poorer in spirit.
But then, something happened. A crack appeared in that foundation. And what looked like a total catastrophe to some was actually a turning point. It was this moment of a huge collective reevaluation.
Yeah, we all saw the headlines about the great layoff, and the story we were told was all about fear, collapse, and economic disaster. But what if that wasn't the whole story? What if that was just the old world's way of explaining something it couldn't even begin to understand?
And here is that other perspective. It reframes the whole thing. It wasn't a layoff, it was a divine extraction, a mass liberation, a kind of cosmic intervention that just yanked millions of people out of a system that had them trapped. It forced them to ask a question they'd been way too busy to even think about: who am I if I'm not my job?
And this just nails the truth that was revealed. Our worth isn't tied to our productivity or our salary. It's just in us. It's inherent. This idea that each of us is a universe in miniature, that's a powerful reminder that we are vast and complex and valuable just because we exist. So, with the old world's illusion totally shattered, people were looking for a new blueprint, and the answer didn't come from some tech lab or a government report. No, it came from an ancient African philosophy that holds the key to our interconnected future: Ubuntu.
At its heart, Ubuntu is this simple but profound truth. It's the complete opposite of the culture of me. It basically says that I can't be fully human all by myself. My humanity is created and affirmed through my connection to you and your connection to others. We literally become who we are through each other. So let's break this down. First, interdependence. Basically, what happens to you affects me, period. Second, collective humanity. To honor my own humanity, I have to honor yours. And third, shared destiny. We are all in this together. My success is totally meaningless without everyone else succeeding too. It's a complete 180 from the old world's logic.
This metaphor of a spider's web is just the perfect way to visualize this, isn't it? We're not separate strands floating around. We are all part of one vast, intricate web. Every single thread is vital to the whole thing. When one breaks, the entire web feels it. It trembles.
So, what does a society actually built on Ubuntu look like? This isn't just some abstract idea. It's a practical map for building a better world. So let's take a look.
Okay, the first major shift is in our identity. We move away from defining ourselves by an external, and let's be honest, often fragile job title, to understanding ourselves as an essential, irreplaceable piece of a much bigger cosmic puzzle. Your value isn't what you do, it's who you are. And this isn't just a philosophical idea, it has real-world psychological benefits. We know for a fact that when our whole identity is wrapped up in our job, losing it can cause serious distress. But by shifting our identity to something more permanent, our essence, we become so much more rooted, more resilient, and able to weather any storm.
The next huge shift is how we define success. The old world was all about accumulation, hoarding wealth, power, status. But in the new world, success is measured by flow.
It's about what you give, not what you keep. This thread of love represents the positive impact, the compassion, and the connection you put out into the world. Success is your contribution to the whole. All right, this slide right here, this is the map that brings it all together. Let's spend a moment with this because it's so important. You can see the whole journey laid out column by column. We start in the old world, right? Driven by a me-first survival mode. Our identity is our job, and success is all about profit. Then, bam, we hit the transition. Things like the Great Layoff, the AI revolution, that forced a massive identity crisis. This is the messy middle. This is the awakening. And that leads us to the new Earth, a we-first society built on Ubuntu. Here, we operate from a place of abundance. Our identity is our core essence. And education? It shifts from just training us to be a tool to helping us cultivate our ikigai, our unique reason for being. This isn't a prediction. It's a blueprint for a choice we can all make.
So the map is laid out. This final part isn't about understanding the map anymore. It's about realizing that we have the power to actually use it. You gotta love this metaphor. The very systems that were designed to control and limit us by taking away the old jobs, the old identities, have, in a way, accidentally set us free. They took away the daily grind, and in doing so, forced us to find our true purpose. The cage door is wide open.
And that's the crucial point, right there. This entire transformation required a sacrifice. The death of the isolated, competitive self was absolutely necessary for the birth of the connected, collaborative we. It's a profound and beautiful trade.
And that leaves us with this final question. This isn't just information. It's an invitation. The blueprint exists. The old world is fading. The tools are in our hands. The question now isn't what's going to happen, it's what role will you play in building what comes next.